Hello and welcome to another episode of Tea Time with me, Meoni. This is a video series that has been in a while, honestly, with gaps apart. It's been a very long time since I did one of these. Main reason for that is because I've been very busy, and it's also been kind of impossible to find time to sit down with anybody, honestly, but including my good friend James. And I did want to do this one specifically with you today, one of my closest friends, simply because, you know, big milestones have been hit. Thanks to people on YouTube, this channel has reached 100,000 subscribers. What? So hello, James.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Hot, but
You're
good.
hot. It is a summer's day. I've had to turn the fan off to record this today.
I
But
need
thankfully,
a fan.
yeah, you do need a fan. Thankfully, I've left this till the later half of the evening, thinking that it would get a little bit cooler. No, not really. It's still pretty warm. I'm not sure exactly how hot it is right now, but for an Englishman, it's sweaty.
warm.
It's sweaty.
And because you're British, we're still drinking tea.
This is true. And, hence tea is refreshing in times of heat. Is it not?
Yeah, mostly.
Wasn't there a thing about boiling water, like tea, is supposed to be more refreshing than if it was water from a tap? Or did we already talk about that before on a previous video?
Probably.
Probably in the many videos that we've done before. So the idea behind this is just to sort of chill out, talk about Final Fantasy XIV specifically, and what we're looking forward to in the future, what things have happened recently, and also go off on a massive tangent. So wherever you are, no matter what you're doing, I know some of you drive buses, drive trucks. Hopefully this acts as a kind of slightly meh podcast that you can sort of listen to and go, what on earth are these two British people talking about?
But it's not a podcast.
But it's definitely not a podcast, by the way.
No.
Or that
Absolutely
kind of
not.
sort of is a little bit, but not. It's not got a podcast intro, so it's not a podcast, right? That's the definition. You have to be like, hello and welcome to the podcast. You see, you'll never hear us say that. You'll never hear us say that.
No.
But yeah, welcome to the podcast. So yeah, 100,000 subs on YouTube. A journey that started on my first channel in 2007. But this particular channel since 2010, when I decided to give it a proper go. That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years. Not all of it's been 14, but good portion of nearly 3,000 videos later, and we're finally at the first major goal in the eyes of the YouTube Creation Award malarkey, and it would not be possible without people supporting me and watching stuff, and people complaining in the comment section that I don't do anything creative and that I stretch out videos to make money or whatever other, stuff gets put in there. I can put up with that, Don't expect me to not do a snide remark back to those people, right, in the comment section. It's very easy to focus on the negative, but the biggest positive is that I've got such a fantastic viewership overall, and that's what I should be focusing on. You're all awesome, and it's as much as your channel as it is mine. I'm always open to suggestions, unless they're really difficult ones, in which case I'll probably have to decline because I'm not very good at editing. But that's the nature of things, isn't it, really? Yeah. Did you ever think I would get here, James?
It's a long time ago.
Honest response from one of my oldest friends. No?
In the last 2 years, yes. Before that, with your 8 hours uploading videos and
It's true.
12 hours of rendering a video.
It's true. The old setup was OG. So I
So
don't think,
at that point, no.
yeah. So I had less than 1 megabit up. So I had 0.9.
Yeah, what was it? Really old 4-core CPU or something?
Yeah, and in terms of download, I was on, I think maximum was about 6 down. So what happens is a lot of the raid nights that we used to do in 14, when James came over to play the game and we were raiding, I would be like still uploading a video, thinking way ahead of time, like, oh, I'll upload this video and it'll be done by the time raid night. So I'll start about, I don't know, I'll start making the video at about 7:30 in the morning. I'll be ready to upload that video about 8 or 9 in the morning, and the video gets finished uploading, if it's
10 o'clock at night,
about 8 p.m. So if we start raiding at 7 p.m., there's at least an hour of a raid where I was lagging.
Yeah, that's assuming the render didn't fail.
And that's assuming it didn't fail, yeah. So then I transitioned to the idea of investing YouTube money, which wasn't much at the time, into saving up and getting a contract phone, because I knew that if you got a phone with 4G on a contract, then you could go to hotspot locations and you could get better upload speeds than what I had. So I was like, well, if I can make that worthwhile, then I will basically make a load of videos, render them out, and then go and drive to the nearest town where I know there's a hotspot near a library without doxing myself, and upload there. So what ensued was the occasional, oh yeah, I'm just off out, but Meoni, it's 11 p.m. at night. Oh, I know, I saved it for this time because there's less people. So I'll drive up there and I'll sit there for up to 3 hours uploading videos.
And get some really weird interactions from people.
I've had knocks on the side of my car window asking if I'm selling, for example. You know,
weird dudes staring at you from across the street.
Definitely selling YouTube content. I don't know about anything else though.
Yeah.
So anyone who says that this has been an easy journey can suck an egg, quite honestly. It has been a long, painful process. 2 years ago, just a little bit over 2 years ago now, thinking about it, we finally got fiber to the area, which was a complete fluke. And that revolutionized everything.
Not quite. It was July 2 years ago, 2020.
So it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was able to actually put my foot down a little bit and actually start producing things from the comfort of my own room. Oh my God.
That was also the time where you had to decide whether to go get toy shop.
Sorry, say again, you broke up.
You had to decide whether to get that job in the toy shop or
that was right.
YouTube.
So I had a choice at one point, because obviously monetization, anybody who tells you make a lot from YouTube is lying. Okay, let's just straight up put it out there. Unless you're the Pewds or anything else, you're not making any money, okay? You barely get enough to scrape by at the best of times. So it was still way under minimum wage sort of feedback. You know, it was never for the money in the first place, but I wanted to put more time into it. And at the time I had a choice between, this was like my 6th job or something. I had an opportunity to work up to 50 hours a week at a toy shop at a holiday resort we won't mention. And it was a choice of that or putting all of my time into YouTube and trying to financially support myself and pay bills and everything else whilst living with my parents and everything else. So I foolishly chose that option, obviously, with the full support of my parents and my family. And here we are, all right? Just about able to. just scraping on by, but it's fine. It's been great. But yeah, it's truly been an extraordinary journey, and I would not be here without people who share my stuff around. And apparently there are entire Facebook groups sending my stuff around, which still blows my mind. I hate Facebook, by the way. Yeah. and I don't know, people who are driving on long journeys. The people I get to talk to on a near daily basis now, either through a comment or an email or even on Twitch now, which is something else I haven't talked about. It's unbelievable how far somebody who makes subpar videos on Final Fantasy XIV can actually have an outreach. I cannot believe it. You look at the demographic thing and you see people in like countries you've never heard of or parts of the world you're like, they have the internet there? You know, I remember seeing something in Antarctica. I'm like, what?
What? Wait, what?
Right, yeah. So it must have been a military vessel. That's the only thing I can think of, or like research or something. Or a penguin. It could have been a penguin. I don't mind. If you're a penguin and you're listening or watching this Totally Not podcast, then, you know, get yourself a...
You've probably got better internet than most people.
Yeah, get yourself a kipper, you know. That's what they eat, right? They eat kippers.
I don't think they eat kippers.
They probably eat fish. Kippers are fish, right?
Yeah, they eat fish, but I'm not sure there's kippers in Antarctica.
There might be. How do you know?
I'm going to Google this.
If you're going to Google if there's kippers in Antarctica, it might be that rare, elusive, lost species of kipper. The rare Antarctican frost kipper in its natural habitat. Penguins like, yeah, I eat them like 4 times a day, mate. Like, come on, calm down. Ah, dear. Watch out for those polar bears. They have polar bears, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They eat penguins.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the point that I was trying to make. It's nuts to think you can be included in something to such a scale. I never thought personally that I would reach 100K. I never thought I would reach it. The goal was always there to try, right? But it was never something that I could touch, that I could reach out and go, oh, I could tangibly get to that, you know. But yeah, the last 2 years has seen a massive curve, and I'm incredibly grateful to have been included in as much as I have so far. Such as Twitch campaigns like the Fat Black Chocobo campaign, such as the media tour for Endwalker, where I actually, you know, managed to find the balls somehow to put my name forward for an interview with the producer and director himself, Naoki Yoshida. I will never, if like, you know, people always say the grim analogy, if you were to be hit by a bus tomorrow, would you feel accomplished? Honestly, I think so, but there's so much more. There's so much more for me to look forward to. But I would say that I've ticked off quite a few boxes already. I'm kind of excited to see where the rest of this journey goes. So, yeah, I'm going to hopefully try and improve on this as best as I possibly can. Editing is something I want to focus on first. So I need to
update. There's no. It's inconclusive whether there's kippers in Antarctica.
Oh, for God's sake! So there could be. All right.
There could be. Yeah.
We've made a discovery. The first Antarctica.
And if anyone who lives in Antarctica, if there's kippers.
Yeah, if you live in Antarctica, you're braver than I. But also, see if there's some kippers. All right, just let us know. Let us know. Send an email to the business email. I'd love to see that, actually. I'd love to see that. But I forgot what I was saying.
We don't want cod, just kippers.
But the idea is to try and improve on things that people give me feedback for. So the first thing that I cannot really change is, because out of principle, people are saying I make videos 8 minutes deliberately or greater to make money. The point is that they seem to forget that I like to talk about things in a video. This channel isn't really for people to come and watch something just to see a quick pan of a costume and me not talk about it. If you want 3-minute videos of a pan of a costume, you know, with no audio, there's plenty of that on YouTube. What I'm trying to offer is something that's like my take on things. I don't want to just be a clone of every other channel that just pans on something. I want to go, oh, this is what I think. I don't necessarily care if you don't like my opinions on things. You can still see the stuff if you want.
Yeah.
If you click the video and you're here to see something, honestly, the majority of my videos, and this is an average, this is a stat, are about 5 minutes in length. That's the average length of a video on this channel. That's what it says in the analytics. So, you can't really say that. Also, the monetary value of a video isn't really that much. It's kind of trying to predict a horse race. You know, you tend
to do different races.
Yeah. Well, I like to show things, and also you have to remember, you know, I'm a strict abider by the terms of service. So, what would be like a 3-minute job for someone else, you know, I save up items to show. Like, oh, here we go. I'll just quickly show while we're live. Right now, we're recording this video. My inventory consists of Vidar bar stuff. I've been trying to obtain every single piece for this so I could finally get around to doing a video showing off what each of these pieces look like. This is not an easy process, you know? A video might exist on the internet as soon as this stuff came out, but I stick to the rules. Because, you know, I know for a fact that in the future... I know for a fact that in the future that my video is going to still be there. You know what I mean? So it's not just about being the first to do something. That's not what this channel's about. What this channel's about is sharing my opinions on things, sharing my journey through this game that I love and you guys love, but at the same time showing things when I can, and I'll only ever show things that I put the effort in to acquire myself. Like, I'm not capable at the moment I haven't got a team or the time to do an ultimate, right? So I'm not going to be able to show you the ultimate weapons. But, you know, that's why there's other people on YouTube.
We have plans for that, though, if we can keep plans for that.
I would love to do some ultimate stuff. And the more times I talk to other members of the community that are encouraging me, you know what, Meoni, you should. It's not hard. And then I realize it's not hard, and it's just actually time is the big equation.
Yeah, our only problem is keeping the same group together. It's always been our problem.
It is, yeah. It is.
But our static is really nice at the moment. So.
It's probably the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
If I'm honest with you.
Absolutely. Mm. Apart from, you know, distracting each other constantly.
But you got to have humour, haven't you? You got to have humour. But yeah, it's a growth process. So I can't really give much feedback back to that point other than I can assure you I don't look at the clock when I make a video. If I'm doing a video about a cupboard, if I like the cupboard, if I can put a Namazu in it, I'm going to put a Namazu in it. I have fun. That's the thing people forget. When I make my content, they're looking at the timer or whatever. You can skip along. I mean, I timestamp a lot of stuff these days because people ask for it. But I'm going to have my fun. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just going to be another boring video on YouTube. I don't know. So that's what I have in reaction to that. The other big point was lack of creativity. Now, I find that very hard to even address, but it is valid in some places. But the creativity of somebody who looks at things and basically previews items and shares news and stuff, I mean, I could do them in silly voices.
Yeah, but then you'd end up with complaints. Why are you doing it in a silly voice?
Why are you doing it in an Irishman's accent? That's not right. I'm like, oh yeah, oh geez, okay. Why are you doing a Scottish impression? I don't know, because I don't know.
I mean, you've done other stuff before, but the amount of time it takes is ridiculous.
Yeah, not every day can you make a machinimation. You ask any of the people who actually know what they're doing in terms of actual animation and filming that stuff, like Denmo, for example, and you know, it's not a quick process. I don't have that much time. I have my own set things. It's not to mean I will never try and go back that direction. It's just creativity is down to time allocation again, and also, do I really want to break in a different direction randomly? I think the answer is yes and no. Maybe the introduction of new types of videos. That's where I want to look forward to. But the video types that I have currently kind of work.
Yeah, you don't want to push new, different content like comedy skits or something. If people are here just for news, they don't want to this stuff they might not want to see.
Which is the whole reason why I set up a variety of different content in the first place. So I wasn't just known for this one thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, other criticisms. I don't know if I can even read that one. But yeah, people like to have their opinions known. But for the most part, it's been positive. But the real focus of this channel going forward from 100k subs is to do more of what we have, but also branch out a little bit, mix it up, get a bit more creative in places, but not spoil the milk that's already there. You know what I mean? Like, nobody likes gone off milk in a tea. Come on.
Obviously, absolutely not. Who wants to chew on milk?
Oh dear, stop. People might be eating. Oh dear. Oh. But But yeah, so that's where we're at with that. Thank you so much for 100,000 subs. I don't know how to properly thank people. There is a giveaway, if that's even remotely interesting. There's 7 Pizer mounts on there, and the top prize gets a Pizer mount plus the Eastern Journeys art book. There'll be a link to the Gleam, or you can go to the community section of my YouTube channel, and you'll see a post that's pretty much at the top there. Feel free to enter that, and it's just randomly drawn. Get the owner of the place you live permission, though, because if you do win the top prize, I have to ship that out, and I'm willing to ship anywhere on the globe, but only if you get the if you get the rights to actually have it delivered there.
Also, check in your country if you're allowed legally to have a giveaway, to win giveaways.
That's true. That's very true.
In some countries, you're not allowed.
There is another thing I didn't think of. There we go. But yeah, enter it if you can. If you want to, feel free. But it's not really, that's just a small thing. There's no way I can quantify how much gratuity I wish to share. Is that the right phrase? How my gratefulness? Gratefulness. The gratitude is never going to be reflective of anything I say. But thank you so much for supporting me all this time. It's been a long journey. I mean, what the heck, man? These stats are weird. 34 million views on YouTube so far. What is that? That's crazy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And obviously to all the people who moved over to watch my Twitch streams as well that I do weekly. You're awesome as well. Thank you. You're all incredible people. But yeah, enough tooting the horn. Let's talk about current Final Fantasy, where we're at, what we're looking forward to, and what's on the horizon, because not all of those things fit together. The first topic I want to bring up to you, geez, are we really going to touch on this? This could be an entire episode. Third party. It was going to happen.
Yeah, it was.
So in relation to this, if people don't know, I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock. Square Enix posted a Lodestone article talking about, from the perspective of Naoki Yoshida, the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, reiterating, I would say, the terms of service and the process of, I was going to say process of elimination, the process of actually, getting people to be aware or more aware of the fact that these things are against terms of service. The use of third-party applications. It was stated in such that they can't afford the time and energy that it would take. It would be an impossible task to go through a list of every single third-party application tool, whatever, that exists. This includes things like Reshade, Act, etc. It doesn't matter what it is. They simply have the blanket approach of all third-party tools are against terms of service. That's simply what it says. So the knee-jerk reaction of the, let's say, the community, or a good portion of the 14 community, has to go into panic mode, where there's two sides to this. One, there's the people that have decided to become vigilante, and they have been going around Twitch streamers and for some reason reporting them for the use of third-party tools present in old VODs as well as current stuff, but most likely older stuff, and have, obviously we're not going to list any names here or anything because that's not what we're about, and essentially giving them the incurred penalties associated by mass reporting. I will say the fact that members of a community have resorted to that is akin to a witch hunt. It is not the behavior that I personally would ever support. And I think it's in many ways more toxic than the third party stuff in the first place. It kind of breaches that kind of community spirit. Yeah, okay, there's a terms of service, but that's not changed, is my point on view on this. I don't know if you share the same thing, James.
Yeah, witch hunting is a thing. It's just, it seems, as you closer and closer. It seems people seem to have forgot the whole "don't talk about it" rule.
Yeah, there was that,
and when you look back, like in the past, you never had. I mean, apart from the odd act loadout, you didn't have like UI tools and stuff and slide casting. It was don't ask, don't tell, and then it seems people got complacent and thought, well, they're not going to do anything. So
is that what it is? Is it really complacency that's basically slid into this, or is it more of a that they were going to look the other way about things, but with people making this more of an issue with the mass reporting, that it's become more of a definitive stamp on this?
I think partly it's because it's become more widespread.
Yeah, because of the population of the game increasing from other titles.
Yeah, it's like you look on certain sites and someone goes, "Oh, can I do this?" No, just use this.
Yeah.
And you got new players coming in, they're asking questions and people are saying, "Oh, just use this."
Oh yeah.
Obviously you've got always just don't talk, but the more people then start using it, and then you got stuff like that, haven't you? And it starts to become more normalized when people are just like, yeah.
There is also the fact that I think many of the boundaries have been exceeded of what would be more actionable upon than other things. The reason I state this is because obviously we're not going to mention the name of any of these other things. We've mentioned ACT because that's the one everybody knows about, the passing tool. But we're not going to mention the name of anything else. We're going to be very vague here because in itself that might be construed as supporting it indirectly. So we're not going to do that. There are tools that enhance the gameplay or enhance your gameplay beyond that of other people, which is giving you an unfair advantage, such as scripting and other injection tools that allow for
UI prompts.
More than just UI prompts, though. One of them was literally displaying the location of a mechanic where it would happen before it happened, so they could act accordingly. This transcends both PvE and PvP, and with the images I've seen on Reddit and various other places over the last couple of weeks, it's become more apparent that it's more likely that Square Enix have gone, you know what, we can't really turn a blind eye to that because it's like you've got your cake and now you're eating it and you're smushing it all over our faces.
Well, I think it's part of the same way as what he says. He can't say this is okay, that's not all right, because they don't have manpower to do that.
Exactly.
They can't validate. So when you got like the alleged PvP hacks and stuff like this, which obviously I have no idea because I don't do PvP, but what you read, if this is true and they're doing it, they can't turn around, well, that's bad, but everything else is fine.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of clamp down on everything.
So in the public eye, it's more of a, no, everything's bannable. We need to make some kind of, statement on this. I thought it was it was very interesting to see for the first time. Naoki Yoshida usually would go on social media and congratulate the world first teams, not indicating individuals at all. World first teams, the first few people in the world, few teams in the world to clear content, simply based on this third party thing, which is an implication, not a direct, insinuation, but it's implied that third party tools were used, and it leads to speculation. So that's presumably why he didn't congratulate anyone this time, because at some point somewhere within that somebody breached some kind of thing.
Yeah, you can't really congratulate, and then they go, and then someone turns around and goes, well, Yoshi didn't have a problem with it, he congratulated him on thing.
Yeah.
So it's more
which is really unfortunate, considering how much credibility
effort they put in. the World First Raiders put in.
There's so much just blood, sweat, and tears that went into that world race. I was watching a lot of it on Twitch myself, and at least everybody I watched anyway was well above board. I didn't see anyone using anything myself. obviously, but I wasn't looking for it. You know, unlike a lot of people, apparently. I was just there to have a great time and to enjoy it and get some food. You know, I didn't stream as regularly that week because I was like, this is too good, man. This is too good. Like, even when we were raiding, I'm looking at the other monitor going, oh, damn, they've got to that
Yeah, well,
part.
I was after talking on raid chat, wasn't it? Oh, these people are at this phase. And you're like, oh.
You know, oh, God, hold on a minute with the pull. They're at phase 7. It's like, oh, my God, 7 phases. So it goes without saying, congratulations to all of the people in those teams.
Everyone who went for it, not even just the winners.
Everyone who went for World First, or everyone who's cleared that, massive congratulations. It's not for people like myself to nitpick at who did what. I'm not going to encourage that. That behavior stinks. At the end of the day, though, if Yoshi P and the team don't want to congratulate the teams based on that, it kind of is like a bit of a nudge, like, you know what, maybe don't do that in the future if people did, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I
have literally no idea, and I don't want to know. But the point is that was like the turning point. That's what inspired that post to exist in the first place. I will say, though, the positive outcome of this, though, is that Yoshi P on a recent Lodestone post, on that same one, halfway down, asks for people's... No, it doesn't necessarily ask for people, but says that they're going to be looking into various UI modifications themselves, without naming any, and they're going to be seeing what inspiration they can take from them to develop the UI in the future to make it better for everyone. See if there's something they can do to incorporate some of that. It doesn't matter what level of incorporation that is or what's possible, even if it's just the difference of tracking dots better, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the big points people brought up, the ability to track dots better on the UI. Even if that's the only thing that comes out of this, you have to say that's a massive positive, because that's one of the big problems with raiding specifically. You know, tracking of your own dots and just more user-friendly stuff overall.
Yeah, it's always a good point.
But I will point people in the link in the description. There'll be a link to a forum post. It's on the EU forums, the official forums. But somebody has put together a concise thread with a pinned post at the top with all the suggestions that people would like to see from various UI and lightweight updates to the UI and the way that the game plays in various places. So I would advise go over there, and if you don't see anything that you think would be good, you could always post it there. That's a form of positive feedback, constructive feedback. Last time I looked, it had like 38 upvotes. I'm like, there's like however many million people playing this game. I will say there is a big problem with this community. There are the people on one side of the bench that say, oh, they'll never do this, but they never post anything themselves to constructively help that, either on Reddit or the official forums, which Square Enix employees look at both, by the way, and take into consideration. And then there are people on the other side of the seat that say that, you know, that they have done this, or that it doesn't matter what limits they go to, that, you know, they're just not looking at them. I would say that you just need to go and give it a go, you know. The best place is probably the official forums, because people are employed to look at it, right? They're employed to you know, assess that sort of stuff. And the more viewership that gains, the more upvotes that gets, the more in front of Yoshi P something like that gets to be as a creative decision maker. But that's what I would say. Instead of writing weird social media posts, and some people go to some extreme lengths, and it's weird, man.
They
like,
do.
He doesn't care about the game, such and such, blah, blah, blah. Insert horrible things here. It's like, no, you're not contributing. Any content creator that does the same, by the way, isn't contributing.
Well, let's be honest. Streamers and content creators are all supposed to be role models for the game. It's all promotion.
Well, I don't think I can be a role model, but I can certainly point people towards what's
acceptable. If you see these people using these like add-ons and stuff like that, it looks bad for that from the developer point of view.
That's true.
If they all go, if like the new players coming in, then look and go, what is my UI? And then they have to go,
You're cutting out like 4 times in a row.
Sorry.
Microphone closer. Say again, sorry.
Yeah. So like if you got new players coming in looking at someone on there, and then they load into the game, the UI is completely different.
Yeah, that happens
then you've got
a lot, I think.
Yeah, so then it's like, from their point of view as a developer, it looks bad on the game at that point.
It's the representation of the product, isn't it? That everybody should have equal access to the same setup.
I mean, they're not going to go after the random Joe who's got whatever on his system but doesn't stream or anything, just plays.
Yeah, there's no way, as far as I know, officially, as far as we know, there is no way of them detecting what is and is not on your PC at any time, and that's what he put in the post, if I remember correctly, in the lodestone.
Yes, the only way they would be able to know you was doing anything is if it interfered with server-side communication.
With packet spoofing and all sorts of illegal activities, which those are illegal activities. Yes. So do not do those.
Yes,
but
definitely don't. But from a community standpoint, it does kind of look bad if you're having to go through and going, oh, well, this on. Why?
I don't know why it hates that sentence of yours, but it went.
Yeah, it's my microphone. It's just crap.
It's fine. We got the gist of it. Yeah, it looks bad on them if they watch someone and they're like, "Why is their UI different than mine?" Blah blah blah. Yeah. We got that bit. Just like hearing you say it repeatedly with gaps. It's great. It's like listening to Morse code, but James.
Oh, I can do Morse code. Beep 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 beep.
Oh dear. But yeah, the third party thing is kind of like an open and shut door for me. The reason I didn't really make any videos on it and I didn't want to like latch onto that bandwagon, the only thing I did was on the actual lodestone post. It's because I didn't really see a point in contributing to something that was already so obvious in the first place.
It just garners arguments, doesn't it?
It does. My standpoint will and forever will be my own personal opinion on what I do is always restrictive to whatever the terms of service is anyway, because I'm a content creator and I am a Square Enix partner. There's no way I would ever want to threaten that by using any of this crap anyway. It's not my interest. But in regards to other people, it has to be said, you're speaking very loudly about this stuff. You're posting pictures of third-party stuff on social media. You're going to Reddit threads, which, it can be traced talking about their stuff. You're
official forums.
Talking on the official forums. They're going in the game and talking about passing and stuff. Am I the only one that thinks that's kind of like a bit foolish?
No, you're not wrong.
Just a bit, if we're allowed to,
Yeah, it's the entirety of they've lost the first rule of Fight Club sort of thing.
Literally, yeah. Oh, dear. But, you can keep quiet about things and not be a problem to anybody ever, right? At the end of the day, if that's the case, right? But if you stick out, when you
start bringing it into the public eye,
if a nail is exposed, it's going to get whacked by the hammer, isn't it? Because no one wants an exposed little thing that's coming out that makes the rest of it look terrible. Weird analogy, works though.
Well, yeah.
You've got this lovely dresser that you've worked hard to make and you've polished it and it's beautiful and it's got this lovely lacquer finish and then there's this nail sticking out. Yeah, it's gonna get smacked in it.
At some point, yeah.
You're gonna get so angry with like catching your hand on that or it just looking ugly. It's the same principle here, isn't it?
Yeah, you might be like, oh, I'll do it later. Time we catch your hand and cut yourself and you go, right, I'm dealing with that now.
That analogy's getting way too out of hand. The point being is it's against terms of service. You are risking your account, right, by doing this. In fact, you're actually risking other people's accounts, especially if there's a Twitch streamer and they have like you talking about act or whatever it might be in the background. So you've got to kind of be a little bit common sense about this. Now, on the flip side of that, the argument is that they could be more specific with certain things. Now, I don't think that they can be specific with the types of things that would be actionable. However, I do think that there should be a severity list with what counts towards what severity of infraction, because Reshade versus Act.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the one thing I would like clarification on.
Go on.
Is Reshade and that, because they say all third party, but they collaborated with NVIDIA to implement game filter and Ansel into the game.
They physically have to communicate with NVIDIA.
Well, NVIDIA had to get permission.
Yeah. So, and they did get permission because we can press Alt F2 in the game if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card to enable that filter.
Yeah.
Literally as simple as that.
And it officially is on NVIDIA's supported games list.
Yeah. So the point is,
that is the only clarification. Because obviously NVIDIA, you know for well, NVIDIA wouldn't implement something mission because that's just that's going down some holes.
Oh, you broke up a bit. You mean NVIDIA would never implement something that would would go beyond that? Yeah. Absolutely.
That's legal implications on that one.
It's usually just like black and white filters and the ability to improve contrast or brightness. But it is technically, if we're reading that Lodestone page, against terms of service, right? Even though that agreement, to my understanding, still exists. So I see your point there, but again, it might be just one of those, like, just because we didn't say it doesn't mean, like it would take too much time, and then people will ask, oh, well, what about this? And then what about that?
Yes, that is exactly why, but it does cause confusion when, for example, you say, all third, but then you're accidentally looking through your NVIDIA thing, goes, oh, game filter, what's that? And then literally, and you're thinking, well, is that allowed?
But again, I think that the one thing I would like is a severity sort of thing, because I think some people were angry about some of the bans that have happened because they were without a warning first. There wasn't seemingly a stratagem to the severity of these things, and a lot of people are fear mongering to some extent, fairly, with the idea that maybe if they have like an edited photo on the internet that might be construed as, oh, you changed the colors in the game at some point, if that's got the same severity, if they really wanted to be, like, if somebody reported that to the same extent as these bloody witch hunters did with the Twitch streams, would the same severity be applied to that, or is there a different kind of way of, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to get instantly banned for this? What kind of behavior incites certain infraction? Like insulting a player in the game, what is that, 10 days or something, isn't it? It's like one of the light things, right? Extreme harassment and stuff like that are like more, you're gonna get screwed over.
Well, you get investigated and you're basically on an indefinite ban until they come to a decision, don't they?
That's right. So there are, and hacking the video game, things like that, more severe.
Well, yeah,
but
you've got
the boundaries at this point are a little bit shaky. So I think maybe that's where.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like Reshade, which changes, which is a filter basically, compared to like changing actual game files for like changing outfits is a bit iffy in my. To then things like that change the game in combat, I think is really starting to push it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you see, this is the problem that people have. At the end of the day, though, it is so much safer just to not do any of that in the public eye, which is the first rule, isn't it, really, with anything?
Well, yeah.
It's so much easier for people not to have ACT on their screen during a stream. It's so much easier for them to not use anything that might get them banned by... it's the equivalent of... Somebody said, like, it's the equivalent of going into a bank and robbing the bank, taking the money, and then leaving your name and address, telephone number, selfie.
Taking a selfie and put it on Facebook.
Yeah, and put it on Facebook, tweeting out, I'm at the bank, boys, do you want anything? You know what I mean? And then also, like, thinking you're going to walk out the bank without a gun in the face. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, that's actually a thing, you know.
I know. To some degree, I can see that point in a big way, but it does have holes in it, like the person if they walked out the bank.
Well,
it's kind of, but like I said, I didn't want to make a video specifically on this because, apart from obviously this tea time, just like addressing it, because it was kind of like at the time everybody was just sort of going, oh, I use a VCR. Is that a third-party tool? I use
a notebook to write down every single piece of damage I do and add it up on the fly.
There was an amazing screenshot of this Japanese streamer, and he took a picture. He's like, I'm using my third-party tools tonight. And it was all these Post-it notes of all of the shapes of all of Dragon Song Ultimate's AoEs for what to look out for. And he Post-it noted on his screen. So, I'm using my third-party tools. I'm like... You see this?
Yeah, they're taking it too far.
They're taking it too far.
I mean, it's fair enough for comedy purposes, but
there's comedy, and then there's some people
who take it seriously.
Like, oh god,
you mean the ones going on about Discord being it?
Yeah, there's a few examples of people losing their actual mind at things like this. It's, I don't know. There's some strong takes that I don't want to repeat because it'd be more obvious. But, geez, man. Geez. At the end of the day, get seen, you're risking it.
Yeah.
But the idea and advice is don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's not a safe thing to do in this game. You can't just go to Nexus mods and have a fun time like you can in Skyrim. It's not the same game. It's a multiplayer MMORPG that does not have third-party support in the slightest, unless they're officially licensed, like Panasonic and things like that, with the enhanced sound thing, and
spatial audio,
and Embody and things like that. So I don't see any of those.
Don't use them, but if you happen to, don't talk about it.
Pretty much, that's the advice. Just I think the biggest advice is just don't. Third party tools, just don't. That should be the answer. Just don't do it. Friend says, what should I use? Can I use a damage meter? Just say don't. Be like, no, just don't do it, dude. Just don't do it. Let's just carry on the way we are. Have a nice, fun experience. Just don't. And if you do, don't tell me about it. No, don't do it.
Just keep it to yourself.
Just you do you. I'd rather have an account at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, after I've been playing for like 6 years, I'd rather keep my...
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of, a bit attracted, not attracted, but like,
Attached.
Attached is the word, isn't it? To the time and effort and the bloody resistance weapons and animal weapons. No, I wouldn't risk my account.
And just the amount of money in subs.
True. And all of the cash shop stuff and holy moly. Yeah.
So...
But that's my standpoint on that. And I think you're kind of with me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fairly common sensey.
Well, yeah.
Right. So next, let's talk about other things. So supposedly there's going to be a thing called Tataru's Grand Endeavor. You know about this, right?
Yes, I have the special site up.
So you've got in the game right now, in the collections menu, if we go... character, where is it actually? I'm a potato.
I don't know.
Where's the collections menu? Duty collection. My god, why is it there? There's the unending codex. This has nothing to do with it in the slightest, but I thought I'd show it off. So they introduced the idea of Tataru being a much bigger thing in 6.1 and that she's going her own direction with things. For the most part, that seems to be her wanting to run her own shop, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? A boutique shop?
Yeah, that's where we get our level 89 weapon stuff from.
Yeah, so that's how we even got a weapon in the first place when we hit that level.
And the art, because remember, he had that really long cutscene where everyone had to come up while he was waiting.
They were all like, hey, so this happened, and you're like, bye.
I'm sat there thinking, it's a bit coincidental that we're stood here and everyone we seem to know seems to have wandered past.
I mean, it was a big deal, to be fair, in the story, but...
It was, but I'm always just like, why are you here?
So that they say in the 6.1x series, so this is going to be coming probably 1.5.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. I imagine it depends. It's probably not on their top of their priority list, so if they have to drop it back, they can.
Yeah, so specifically this is supposed to be a boutique and you're helping her reach her ambition of selling designs. So are we talking glamour?
I'm guessing it's going to be like some crafting thing.
You think it's crafting?
I imagine it's going to be crafting.
No, it says side story quest. That doesn't necessarily imply crafting. Or maybe it's everything. I mean, we know it's not going to be a custom delivery type thing because they've already got
it might be like a crafter-based story, you know, where you're helping her craft and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Or you have to get her certain items.
Or here's an idea, tinfoil hat on. Maybe
you go for Rowena.
No. Maybe you, right, are the warrior of salesmen. Okay?
You're trying to tell me that the entire storyline is you being a marketing agent, Tara.
You go door to door in a series of humorous cutscenes trying to sell useless stuff that she's created and try to get a business opportunity using their new following around tools and things that they have in the game to better storytell that.
Possibly.
With a reputation-based system or something.
I mean, yeah, you could be like a marketing agent and that, trying to get deals with suppliers and stuff like that. Or, you know, you could go and like have like she employs you to take out Rowena so she can have her business.
Oh, you're going to become an assassin. So, yeah, we really have no idea what Tataru's grand endeavor is, apart from it's a side story quest line. So, I doubt they're going to do something basic. It's going to be something interesting. It has to be. You just wait. It'll come out and it's a 5-minute quest, Meoni. I'm like, oh no.
Wow, yeah. It'll be a continuation, won't it?
I think a lot of people are underestimating Tataru. I think there's going to be something massive.
You think she's evil?
No, she's a primal, definitely. I mean, come on. Have you seen that smile? Damn, man. She could enthrall you with just a wink, I think, at this point.
Well, you remember that side story written one where it says we could have claimed all of our travel expenses back if we filled out the paperwork?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's the entire side quest. We have to fill out paperwork to get our expenses back with her, and she's trying to stop us.
Maybe Tataru's grand endeavor is actually us realizing what the Bitcoin market and the NFT market's actually like. And then losing all of Sion's money because suddenly something that was worth 500 million is now worth 12 grand.
We're not Estinian, dude.
Oh, that's true. Estinian would be in charge of NFTs, right? In the Sions. Oh, yeah. That's true. But yeah, who knows what that content is. It's going to be fun, though. Tataru's really been fleshed out as a character. Yeah, more Tataru, I think. I'm looking forward to that. Especially those weird glamours. We got Omega.
Beyond the Rift.
I was hoping that it was going to be in this patch, but it's probably 6.15, maybe 6.18 that exists, right?
Yes. Apparently. Yeah, 6.18 data set and track.
So, Beyond the Rift. Beyond the Rift is what it's called.
I imagine it'll come out at the same time as Tataru's thing.
So, apparently, in the live letter, Yoshi P was saying this was more than just a side story. It was quite a lengthy storyline as a conclusion and follow-up to the Omega story.
Yeah.
So, presumably that means there's no actual, like, fighting or content involved in that, presumably. Or...
possibly solo stuff.
It could be similar to how the role quests were.
Yeah.
Because those were fantastic. Have you done the 6.1 role quest for everybody?
It's not that ridiculous.
You haven't done that. Okay, I did that on stream the other day without spoiling anything. It has one of the most satisfying boss fights and endings throughout the entirety of this role quest stuff I've seen. It was fantastic. Highly recommended. Honestly, the other role quests, I was a bit meh with a lot of them. Some were great, you know, when Gosetsu shows up and stuff. But this one was like top tier, really good storytelling. And it felt like I was doing the MSQ. It was actually that good. and there was a really good fight involved. So maybe they'll approach it like that. Maybe Omega will not want to learn the truth about things, you know?
Yeah, well, I imagine you see a lot of Alpha, given the pictures.
Yeah, like the conclusion that we got from the whole, what's it called, Sigmascape and stuff. All that is very much quite damning for Omega, isn't it? Like, we know what you did. The dragons kind of, you know, send their regards, friend. But yeah,
which got augmented when we were in Fuel.
Sorry?
When you get Ultima Fuel at the end of the Endwalker.
Yeah.
When you see the dragons and the Omega worlds and stuff. So I imagine it's kind of
hopefully there's
for
something sexy as a reward, you know. I'd like maybe, what would I like? We've got an Omega mount, so
we've got a Alpha mount. Giant
Alpha mount.
Giant Alpha.
You know how much people would pay money for that? Of course that'd be on a cash.
Good point, yeah.
No, an Alpha mount, heck yeah, I'd be up for that. Although I'm not sure Alpha would be. All those Rogadins, man, like his poor back. His poor back, poor Alpha. Just increase him in size by like 50,000% and you know, then maybe. So that's to look forward to. It says unexpected journey of discovery based on the transmission lifted from a flight logs of the Ragnarok.
A tale once ended was only just beginning, so I imagine there's going to be a lot more to that.
Is there more? I personally loved the Omega raids in the storyline.
I wonder if it's going to show you more, possibly more like back in time.
Let's go back in time and save the dragons.
No, like, yeah, you get to see what actually happened between them.
Let's save the dragons, so it's not the last brood or whatever.
But I mean, you've also got like Omega's journey from wherever he came from to the source.
Oh yeah, we don't.
It's not saying they flew directly here. There could be other worlds and stuff like that. Well, although not in this patch. But
please no more timey-wimey plot though, because it's already baking my noodle how they do it in this game. They keep changing the rules of time travel all the time.
Well, you've
especially
got
in the zone we're in right now. You know.
Mysterious transmission listing from flight logs of the Ragnarok implies it's going to be the Omnicron people from
things.
At least to start.
Well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to that personally. Anything with Omega, I'm in. You know, but give us some really good rewards. Speaking of good rewards, we have waited a long time for Hildebrand.
Yes.
6.15. Just around the corner. I would imagine, in the next couple of weeks? Less than that? I don't know. Couple of weeks? I mean,
what do we just have? 6.
Are we talking June or are we talking late May for 6.15?
Didn't we just have like 6.12?
Yeah, but that was only like Dragon Song, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they generally have a thing, don't they?
Well, yeah.
Time between.
A couple of weeks or something. Don't know. Anyway, so somehow further Hildebrand Adventures. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully there's a trial involved with it. I always like it when they do. I mean, not necessarily initially, but hopefully in this expansion we get another Greg or Jim show off. I do like the trials. I like even when they just have like a bit of barding or something, which the last one had and a card. I do like them. I just like them in general. But it always feels a little bit hollow when they do like the first quest and it's like 5 minutes of length, and then like I'm talking about Stormblood.
Oh yeah.
Like Stormblood's Hildebrand, honestly, up until a certain point wasn't that great. Until the last few quests, and it was like, okay, this is good now. This is fun. I'm actually laughing. But the first couple were like, really? Is that it? So hopefully we can have a bit more. And it's supposed to be. I mean, the picture on the special site is him on the first in Lakeland.
Yes,
which is where he was kind of left after Grand Cosmos. Do you know? Apparently, Grand Cosmos and his appearance was canon. That was actually him.
Yeah.
So he's been like there since then, since 5.5 or what, 5.3.
Well, yeah. Well, they've always been bits like that. It's like when you get his head and you forget who he is and stuff like that.
So since 5.3, our boy's been just hanging out in some forests, chilling, without anybody noticing. Yeah, that's
and we're
interesting.
We're at 6.11.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it says last seen vanishing into the interdimensional rift alongside his arch rival Gilgamesh. The only thing I want from Hildebrand is just more of it. I don't necessarily mind what they do. Just give me quantity. It's not necessarily quality at this point. It's just every written line is brilliant. But yeah, give us a lot of it this time, yeah. I do miss the back in the day of like Ultros and stuff. Oh, so good. Yeah. So good. You could easily play that and not like the MSQ and forget what game you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll have to replay it after replay it.
Yeah, you should New Game Plus that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that people are looking forward to is the Arcasadora Tribal Quest coming in 6.15. Confirmed mount being a hippo with a carriage, as well as presumably a minion. Hippo with carriage? Apparently the whole thing's about... what does it exactly say here? Known for their alchemical ingenuity and hippo carts, follow a crew of young upstarts seeking to blaze a new trail across Fafnir's history and ride like no one has ever ridden before. On your mark, the open road awaits. So I don't know if you noticed, but in 6.1 they actually added the Beast Tribe camp to the map. You can actually go there now in the game in Fafnir. There's nothing there though. It's a ghost town for a couple of weeks, but that's already in the game, so they just have to like boop quick patch it in. So it's like a race thing. Quests. I mean, I don't suppose you really care about tribal quests that much, James, but
not really, no.
I've always
been...
it
sounds like you're helping new people get up and go and running with stuff.
It just sounds like we're helping, I don't know, take a side in some kind of conflict again, as usual, and reach some moral high ground. That's what I'm guessing from a story. I really... See, the thing is with me and what they used to be called Beast Tribe quests, the tribal quest for me, I don't think anything can ever top the Namazu, just simply because of the writing, the extra time and energy and money they put into that and the cutscenes.
And you're obsessed with fish.
Yeah, there's that. Even like the Ronka storyline, it was great, but it wasn't Namazu. I'm waiting for the day where it rekindles my stupidity moment. It was like Hildebrand on crack, the Namazu questline. I loved every minute of it. So I'm hoping that the Arcasadora one isn't just, you will help this elephant man build cart. Bring 4 cartwheels. The next week comes along. Yes, you brought the next day, the next day. You brought me another 4 cartwheels for my cart that has 4 wheels. And then the next day, I've ranked up. I brought another 4 cartwheels. And I was like, yes, we can now race. And then it finishes with this great race and then a moral standpoint. It's like,
something, yeah.
But can we have some slapstick humor and some exploding fish, please? Can we? I don't know. Maybe I'm a simple mind. I just need simple distractions. You want me to do quests? I'll do them. But I'll be more excited to do them if you have, like, I don't know, prophecies foretold about the end of the universe. And you try to avert it only for them to die anyway in another cutscene. And then you're trying to... if you've never done the Namazu tribal quests, go and do them. If you never do anything else in this game, do them. Nothing will ever top that. So the bar is high. So the Arcasadora, I don't think they're going to make that. But it'll be interesting. I was kind of hoping that we would have a tribal quest series on the moon. Don't know if that's going to happen. I would love to see Leporits, because I think Leporits are the closest thing we have to Namazu in the current time, right?
I mean, it's in the cards since at the end they were working with Oriange to change it to be more hospitable for
That's
humans.
what we need. We need rebuilding Smileton as a beast tribe area, right? So Smileton is its own instanced area, like with the fairies when they had the Fae place. Yeah. And you rebuild it by doing your things. But it's like some of the quests are like pudding, where you're trying to find the perfect pudding. So you have to try and create the perfect pudding, and he's never impressed. And you find new ingredients, and then one of them poisons him. And you know what I mean? all of the stupidity that you could write into this stuff. Sometimes the game takes itself very seriously, and sometimes you just need to have these little outlets of absurdity.
Well, that's pretty much what happened, wasn't it? After you kill Zodiac and instantly...
You cut out
so
again.
now you kill Zodiac and instantly eat these carrots and tell me what you think. You're like...
Yeah, that was a perfect yin-yang sort of situation. Absolutely, I agree. But I don't think the Alcazadora are going to provide me even an inch of that.
No.
It's going to be, times are hard, we can build carts and we can beat someone in a morally positive way and learn something. It's like an episode of South Park or something. You know what I learned today? People are assholes. Oh dear. It's basically everything has to have a moral. But I'm sure there could be some fun, but I don't imagine much. I don't. So who knows? I'm looking forward to it. Definitely be sure whenever they do announce 6.15, make sure you do 2 sets of dailies on the first day. Top tip. You can always do that and get your rewards one day earlier. The other thing in 6.15 then, and probably the last thing, I think.
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
Is Emelians the custom deliveries client? Now, I know you don't craft and gather, do you, really?
No.
Have you still got your level, 12 carpenter?
No. Hang on one sec.
What level is it? I made you level it because I needed company workshop
3.
people, didn't I? Level 3. Holy moly. Brilliant. But for people like myself, custom delivery client Emelians, very welcome. I basically use the white crafter and gatherer scripts and turn them into blue scripts in Idleshire to get to turn into crystal sand to then use to make relic weapons. So that's the only use that these things really have for me. Storyline could be good. I'm looking forward to seeing people lewd Emelian's Levier by dressing her up inevitably when they finish the quest line
in a bikini.
That will happen. They did confirm that you can dress her up when you finished. I mean, each to their own, right? I think I'm going to probably put like as heavier armor on her as humanly possible. I'm going to do the complete opposite. Yeah, something that maybe like the Scion outfit where it covers the face with that mask.
Oh, the Traveler's outfit.
Yeah, I like Amelia. She's a great character, but I don't want her to be looted. People are going to loot her. And it's like, oh no. But yeah, the storyline could be really good for that one. It says, with the final days averted, great waves of change have reached the shores of Sharlayan. The burden of its duty lifted. The long, reticent seat of knowledge has begun to open its borders at last. And in the midst of such upheaval, Emelians Levier has a new venture in mind. And it's OnlyFans.
It's definitely not.
It's definitely not OnlyFans. If it was OnlyFans, though, I mean, she could sell Levier bathwater. I mean, that could work.
Oh God, dude!
The spirit of old
people
Charlie.
Eating.
People are eating still. That's true. I don't know. What would her new venture be? Probably, I don't know. Selling hats. I'm out of ideas. Hat salesman or OnlyFans. That's the breadth of my understanding of where this could go.
Gloves. She could do gloves.
Gloves. No. Tataru makes the gloves. She makes the hats. Right. Yeah, there we go. You see, look, it's a crossover you didn't know you needed. But yeah.
Who makes the boots?
Estinian.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Out of shrimp.
Yeah, that
shrimp
amazing.
Boots.
Yeah, of course, but he pays like 50 million gil for one shrimp.
That's right. That's why Tataru's always in the red.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for the upcoming content, isn't it?
Apart from data center travel in 6.1.
Data center travel, it's logical data centers only. So if you're on America, then you can only go to America. If you're on EU, then that's basically Chaos and Light.
Basically what we had from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, they are talking about the addition of new servers and a new data center.
Lots of new servers, isn't it?
Lots of what, sorry?
Lots of new servers they're planning.
Yeah, well, the main one that confuses me is the idea of a third data center on EU. So splitting the cheese even further. You know, it's like, no, we can barely have enough cheese on our sandwich in the first place.
Well, I think they said there's opening a third, but then having new servers, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like
So-
it's the logical thing is each physical data center
Yeah.
has has 8 servers,
Yeah.
and each logical data center has ours will have 3 data centers.
Yeah, 3 data centers each with 8 servers.
And then there will be data center travel between those logical
physical data center.
no
Which
between
is-
no between those logical
ones.
data
Yeah.
centers. There we go. Terminology is an
Yeah.
absolute potato, isn't it, at the moment? But yeah, so like, I don't like the idea of us being split anymore. Like, Chaos and Light was, in my opinion, one of the worst splits. We didn't need it.
Yeah, we didn't have enough players back then to warrant a split. To
I
begin
know
with.
we've got more players now, but
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't see the player retention to be anywhere near what they predicted. I don't think by splitting it, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, more people in the game is always a good thing, and less queues, but we don't really have those unless there's a patch anyway, and I doubt that's going to massively change. An expansion launch is always prepare to not log in, and a patch is prepare to add like an hour on top of whatever you're doing anyway, depending on where you play.
Well,
obviously.
I mean, it works if they also in the future do data center duty finder between the logical data centers.
I don't know if I don't think they plan on that. From what I understand, it's you have to be moved over to there to join their pool
as a
of
starting, but I mean, in the future, there should be what they're looking at.
cultural differences will always make that a problem.
No, I meant from on the logical data centers.
Oh, on the logical ones, okay.
So just chaos
So
data,
not regional,
light,
okay.
and no, just chaos, light, and whatever. Then you've got Europe or your American could just queue together.
I mean, I know they were talking about the future possibility, they said, and that was the exact terminology for cross-region play.
Yeah.
And I think there are probably too many hurdles for that. I really want that to happen because I'd love to hang out with other content creators and viewers from other parts of the world than my own.
Latency and
I don't mind that, but it's not what I mind. I think it's more of a Square Enix's what's their quality assurance going to say. It's going to be do we want our game to be represented by people that have the ideal latency, or will somebody take this out of context and go, oh, it's crap. Look at these, I'm disconnecting all the time. You know?
the same reason we don't have long hairstyle, stuff like that. Their quality assurance, don't like the clipping and stuff like that.
Even though they add stuff that does clip. But
yeah.
It's more of like my biggest fear is them not doing it just simply because of a minority of angry responses they would get, or negativity in its minor form over the overall positivity of them doing it. I think it would outweigh it in there. I don't know. We hopefully we see it. I'm all for it, but I don't see it happening simply because of how quality assurance would feel about that.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Especially
matter your
with
own personal latency. You've got to think about PlayStation as well.
Yeah, there's also like cultural differences of raid finder during party
Macros, placements. The Japanese players prefer to use the you queue for your Savage content rather than going through Party Finder, which blows my mind, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not everyone, but there's a good portion of that do that, and we don't do that. So it's going to be interesting if they do cross those lines, and I hope they do, but I fear that they won't.
Yeah, there's also the language issue, isn't there?
Yeah. But that's why they should be made a choice to.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Like with the logical hopping, which is coming in. Sorry, the current where your data center one, cross data center.
Yeah.
Not cross region. Oh, it's so much of a hurdle, isn't it, to even try and communicate what anything is even happening in this game half of the time, especially with the terminology. But What we mean is, if they did broaden it out, what differences would be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that, but I really don't think people will get everything they want. And they did say that if they would have to do even more limitations, right? If it was on that scale. So
because it really depends on how the characters are designed on the server side. Like, how much of the character data can you transfer and how much is actually locked into your server? Things like retainers and stuff like you can't do now. I probably locked server because it needs to access like mods and stuff.
You're breaking up a little bit, but yeah, I understood basically what you said.
Like how much a certain thing interacts with a server and how much permission you need from a server is how much you can. I think I cut out again.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, how much. So, yeah, it's sort of how much can they move and how much can't they?
True. I think that the limitations of the future, though, if they did actually do cross-region gameplay like that between cross-regional servers, then you would have restrictions probably placed on not being able to use the party finder. You'll probably be able to queue for things directly as a full group. I would imagine like a pre-made group, but I don't think
Party finder should be fine.
Yeah, party finder and pre-made groups only. I really don't think they'll let you go in duty finder on those other servers. Simply out of the principle of you being grouped up suddenly with a Japanese group, for example, and the communication thing being a huge barrier and it going tits up.
That would be more of a conscious decision as opposed to the limitation.
Yeah. Well, I still think that's a limitation, personally, because then you won't be able to just go onto another server and then go, oh, hey, James from, I don't know, Materia server and group up with you and then press U and press Q. It'd be more of a fact that, we need 6 other people now. I still think that's a limitation, dude.
It's a limitation, but it's
an understandable one.
But it's one they decided to. It's not a hardware limitation, is what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Not necessarily the hardware limitations, but what we could expect, right? I very much doubt that they would let you go into the duty finder of another.
Well, I'd imagine region, hardware-wise, they might lock it down to essentially not being able to access anything you can't in an instance server.
It just sounds like Blue Mage restrictions.
Well, like, for example, because in an instance server, it just copies character data to an instance, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
This is why you can't access a lot of things.
One of the other physical limitations is how, like you said, though, is how far can you copy your character data without risking its degradation?
Yeah.
And latency does have a massive impact on that, so that's the big hurdle. If they can get past that, then pretty much anything's possible. It's just what they want to make probable, what they want to do more than what they can. And I think that technology's there. It's just they're probing at the seams of what's doable with this. I mean, this is a big undertaking. I'll be very surprised if this is a smooth transition.
Oh, God, no, it won't.
No, but if it is, I will seriously get on my hands and knees and just bow to them. Because honestly, everything else that's been a major thing that they've flipped over, like when we did server visitation, that was so smooth when that was implemented. It had its issues, but it was so smooth. It worked. There wasn't loss of character data. There wasn't any major implications.
I think that's because they already had a lot of that infrastructure from how instance servers work.
Well, I'm fairly sure GMs probably are able to do that anyway.
Yeah.
It's just,
they can.
When Yoshi P visits a server, it's just a copy of his character.
Yeah.
It just copies everything his character is using, and like a GM set. So it exists. Oh, I got logged out of the game.
Oh, wow, really?
It's fine. People get to watch me log back in. But yeah, we'll still keep talking about it. I didn't move my character. Oh no, my character was not properly logged out. Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Yeah, you DC'd.
Brilliant. But anyway, as I was saying, I look forward to it, and I just hope that they find a way past a lot of those hurdles, because I would love to collaborate with other creators in North American region. I would also love to meet people from around the world that, watch videos or listen to videos like this, especially. But yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, the bigger future of 14 is more of a topic for another time, I'd think.
Yeah.
But I'm incredibly excited to see what the graphical updates. I mean, we could briefly talk about that because I think that's the thing I'm most anticipating with 7.0 and onwards, right?
Well, yeah.
I know for a fact that you would love a day where you see ray tracing in this game.
I do like ray tracing.
Is it possible? Can you get ray tracing in this game?
Depends on the engine, to be honest.
Well, they're not going to update the engine in any
No, it
major
depends
way.
Depends on how it's implemented into the engine. If
You broke up again.
it depends, because I do believe does ray tracing in DX12 possibly?
Maybe.
If it does, then yeah, like the current engine is not DX12 compatible, obviously.
Maybe
as
they
far as
could
I'm aware.
update it for the.
Yeah, well, you need certain requirements to meet a standard. They have a standard for DirectX.
But at the very least, it's going to be lighting, shaders, textures. I mean, those character models.
At the very least, DLSS and FSR actually.
That would be really nice. That would be really nice. That'd be nice for content creation, actually.
Especially if they get something working like that also for consoles, because they do run off PC hardware.
Well, PS5 would be able to do it, but your PS4 is not going to do that, is it?
No, but going forward, it also...
Going forward, there probably won't be a PS4 version, is what we're saying, yeah.
Yeah, but then going forward as well, FSR taking load off, rendering, and upscaling it through the graphics card would also increase the longevity of compatibility,
yeah.
Because obviously you need a certain, like, an FPS target of, say, 60 FPS or what.
Your mic is so bad today. An FPS
I know,
target
I don't know
of
what
60, and it was like...
and then it's like, if you have DLSS, that target remains to reach longer through more graphical updates and more harder hitting stuff than what you'd normally have. So I think that would be...
Yeah, it's at this time he switched to push to talk, and the problems disappeared.
I forgot about push to talk, to be honest.
That is an option. It's a very big option that helps alleviate these issues.
It does. I usually do, to be honest.
The beauties of third-party audio tools to communicate to each other. Holy moly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever they've got cocked up. That first preview images of the Makote, specifically the Makote, I was like, I need that now. And I was just like, oh, this is like our first renders. I'm like, you show-offs. This looks so good. When are we getting this? But yeah, apparently it could be even better than that. I'm like, why? But if they're going to do that, my one request is, can they revisit character creation and add a few other bits or change a few bits to make more sense in the character creation, so that, yes, our characters look beautiful, but they look beautiful by design as well. So like we can, have better options. I don't know. Yeah,
well, I imagine they got to redo the character creator.
You know what would be really nice? It will never happen, but NVIDIA Hairworks. the laggiest thing in the universe, but give us that. That's fine. It's laggy.
If you got hey, that might push your 3090 up to 100%.
Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. Yeah. Imagine if you had hair that didn't clip anymore because it just dangled on things. It's like, well, no excuse now. Going to give you your butt length hairstyle that you've wanted, Meoni, since the dawn of time. Yes.
Although I do imagine this graphical update is going to split the community a little bit.
Well, the biggest thing was that a lot of people are going to knee-jerk react negatively because of how long it's going to take to implement across the entire game. So there's going to be part of the game that looks beautiful and part of it that looks outdated. Your character model next to an NPC of the same race. Yeah.
Well, it's more the fact is people get attached to the characters, and then if you drastically change how the graphical update, then some people aren't going to be happy.
To be fair, I didn't see anything on those previews that radically changed the design of the characters, those particular preset options that they chose for those demos, but more of just fleshed them out.
But they did look a lot.
A lot what? Sorry, you cut out again.
Yeah. I'm like right next to my mic and everything.
You got to start swallowing your microphone.
I think I do. But yeah, they looked quite a bit different in-game character model.
They did, but I don't think they were too different. But again, yeah, it's depending on...
People get very, very attached to the character looks.
True. Well, I'm all for it, sod it. You know,
me too.
Put brick on the accelerator, give me all of your upgrades. But
I mean, all they need to do is give everyone like a free Fantasia or something.
Oh, I mean, if they didn't do a free Fantasia or something, or a promotion or something, then it would be a little bit probably misguided. Yeah. It's not out of the region of them giving a free Fantasia. Like, come on.
Well, I think I would do just because, you know.
Yeah.
If you're changing how the graphics...
If you're changing it and somebody... It's out of their control...
And then going, you got to pay.
I remember World of Warcraft, though. I don't remember them giving us anything when they upgraded that. And I looked on the... because there's a website called the Armory, which shows you your characters. You can just look them up without having to sub to the game, which is great, because I don't want to. But I looked up my old characters from WoW, and they look nothing like I remember them, because obviously they had a graphical upgrade at one point, and I haven't paid attention. My Blood Elf female character that's also called Meoni she looks like she's just took a crap somewhere, and she's got like kind of like strained face. She never had that before. So the presets have radically changed, and I don't remember ever being like immersed for that. I could be wrong, but yeah. So yeah, I see what you mean. But that's why I'm saying, in addition to, have some other face. I think all I want is face presets to be more than 4. Give us 6 presets. That's all I'm asking for. 2 more presets per race. And we good, you know? Doesn't matter what they are. Well, it kind of does, but I want 2 new noses. I want 2 new mouths. I want 2 new faces. 2 new hairstyles, default. Ooh, I'm asking for it now. Ooh. The budgeting, you said the size of the budget's just going ding, 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 ding.
To be fair, what I'd want more than anything was a hair length slider.
And then there's people who would want a butt slider, so, you know.
No, but I mean a hair length slider, so you could have any hairstyle, then increase or decrease the length.
True.
That would be a really good thing to put in.
That would be cool.
Not that it ever happen.
But you see, mine would always be set to 100, so, you know, the bigger...
No, but 100 was literally where it touched the floor, and then the animation went...
Where what? You cut out again.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, you just have it 100 where it's on the... But then, but then they have an animation that if you set it to 100%, your character trips every now.
You know what? I would be fine with that game mechanic. Oh, you've set your hair too long? Now you have an obstacle. You get a debuff? I'd be fine with that. Hey, Rapunzel away. That's all I'm saying. Rapunzel away. But yeah. Anyway, the future looks very bright for Final Fantasy XIV. People are complaining about things that have been there since the start of time. Nothing new, really. Is it?
Not really, no.
Not really. Just another day. But anyway, it is a true honor to be able to make videos and just be able to sit here actually and talk to like my good friend here and people to listen in the different parts of the world. It doesn't matter how many views a video gets. It never has bothered me that much. But as always, it is. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Someone said in the comments the other day, "Here's to another 100,000." I was like,
whoa.
What would I have to do to do that? Oh, jeez, man.
OnlyFans.
And OnlyFans is what our static decided it would be called. Actually, Me OnlyFans. It'd just be a cat, but it wouldn't be anything sexual. It'd just be you'd be tuning in, and it'd be me doing relic grinding. That's all it is.
It's just you doing voiceovers for random stuff.
Voiceovers for fanfic.
Yeah. Meoni fanfic with your voice.
Meoni thick. What?
Oh God.
Meo thick. No, that sounds worse.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
it really does. But anyway, thank you so much, James, popping on. No kind of notice. You helped me with tech issues today. Always a pleasure. It's nice to actually talk to you because you don't really have time off work or studies, do you?
And to the people who watched the test screen, you're a bit weird, but it's fine. It was fun.
Our test stream was the best stream ever. What are you on about? It was brilliant. We sat there and we talked about why the game is really bad on Twitch because you can't like actually, play the game without it looking pixelated. And then we realized it was the case of Twitch's algorithm and it was awful. But yeah, there we go. Thank you so much for being on. It's always a pleasure. Links in the description to whatever I remember giving links to. What did I ask? What did I say?
Yeah, giveaway.
Oh, the giveaway. There'll be the giveaway link. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much for 100,000 subs. There'll be other ways that we celebrate this. I'm trying to apply for the plaque thing. Because you get a silver plaque to put on your wall. So like a video about that and like some other ideas that people have left suggestions for, I will totally do. If you have any other suggestions of videos you would like to see or things that I could do to celebrate 100,000 subs, I'm open to all of them, to be honest. Not just picking one, but if there's a good few, then I'll do them. Share your ideas. Let me know what you want to see. Do you want me to do like a Q&A of like stuff? Do you want me in the next tea time to get on another content creator? I have fingers in pies. I'm trying to get more fingers in pies.
God.
I'm trying to get my fingers in more pies.
As long as it's not an apple pie.
Oh, I do like apple pie, actually.
And it's not a finger you're sticking in it. You're fine.
Oh, shush you. Also, why would you reference American Pie? Do you realize there are people who are going to be watching this that have no idea what American Pie is? You are old, sir.
Go watch it. It's a good movie.
It's like, what did we say the other day? And one of our static members said, "Who's that?" What was it? I can't remember. It made me instantly feel old anyway. They hadn't... There are people who watch these videos that have never seen Star Wars, the original,
Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord of the Rings. Good example. What's Lord of the Rings? Oh, God. Stop. My head cannot take this.
You're making reference to things I don't know about.
Oh, dear. And that's just a tip of the iceberg. Just a tip. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now because, stuff and things and time.
I do have things to do, yes.
Do you? Unbelievable. All right. Thank you very much, James. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Wherever you are, have a great day. More stuff to come. Regularly, videos. I will try and be more creative. I definitely want to take this on the chin and go, you know what? This is even more encouragement to continue doing what I do and what I love doing and to get even better at it, hopefully. So I will be taking on your feedback. No matter how positive it might be or not. And I will do my very best to continue. So thank you very much for the last 15 plus years. Much love. And we'll see you all next time. You got a bow? Do you have a bow?
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. See, I even allocated. I allocated for the distance because you're slightly behind with, I don't know how that works, but, But there we go. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.